Workers' compensation is a statutory system that provides benefits for almost all injured workers in the state of Illinois. Interestingly, Chicago police and fire officers, federal employees, and interstate commerce railroad workers are excluded from this system. Workers' compensation requires that employers pay benefits to their employees for injuries and illnesses they suffer while in the course and scope of their employment. Workers' compensation is a no-fault system of benefits. In other words, a worker need not prove that his or her employer or a co-employee or anyone else was at fault for causing the injury. As long as the injury occurred in the course and scope of employment, the employee will be covered for the benefits under workers' comp. So if you're injured in the course and scope of your employment, what are the benefits that you're entitled to? Well, essentially, there are three benefits under workers' compensation. Let me explain. The first benefit is the 100% payment for all reasonable and necessary medical bills associated with your care. This is true as long as you do not choose more than 2 doctors. Check out our YouTube video on what should you do if you get hurt on the job for a thorough explanation of how you can see multiple doctors and still force workers' comp to pay for them. The key is to get a referral from one of your approved doctors rather than just picking one out of the air. If you choose more than 2, bring your checkbook. The next benefit is temporary total disability, which are the weekly disability payments that an employee receives while he or she is temporarily totally disabled from returning to their usual job because of their job-related injury or illness. These are typically equal to 2/3 of the employee's annual average weekly earnings, with a statutory maximum amount which changes annually. The key here is that you can't return to work at your usual job duties due to your injuries. So if the employer offers you a light duty position and your doctor approves it, you do have to go back to work at the light duty task because you will not be entitled to any disability benefits if you refuse. The third and final benefit is an award or settlement for your permanent disability. This occurs after you reach what doctors refer to as your maximum medical improvement. Now, in exchange for these guaranteed but limited benefits that employees receive under workers' compensation, workers are prohibited from suing their employers directly for their injuries. So you're entitled to guaranteed benefits, but subject to statutory limits. And trust me, they're always fought hard by the workers' compensation employers because, after all, insurance companies love to take premiums in, but they hate to write checks out. Now, another important fact that you have to know is that all the benefits you receive under the Illinois Workers' Compensation Act are tax-free. That means your medical bills, your disability payments, and your settlement or your award are not taxable. Now, one of the most important details that I can tell you about is that all work injuries must be reported to a supervisor within 45 days of your injury, or your rights will be forever barred. This is a hard-line black-letter law that simply cannot be violated. If you get hurt in a traumatic event, you have 45 days from that date to tell your employer that you were hurt. If you learn from a doctor that you have carpal tunnel syndrome, hearing loss, asbestosis, and it's work-related, you have 45 days from being put on notice by your doctor, and you have to give your notice. If you don't, you have no rights under workers' comp, period. Now, despite this 45-day reporting rule, I encourage you to not delay reporting your injury at all. Do it immediately. Any delay in reporting your accident will likely result in a delay in securing your much-needed benefits from the workers' comp carrier because, while you may be in compliance with the 45-day rule, your delay gives them reason to suspect whether your claim may just not be 100% legitimate. And when given a reason not to pay, trust me when I tell you, they won't pay without us putting up a fight in the Workers' Comp Commission. And there are other defenses to workers' comp claims as well that are important to point out. One of those is drugs and alcohol. If you're found to be impaired by an intoxicant or illicit drug at the time of an injury, all of these benefits that I've just explained to you are justifiably denied, and you'll be on your own for medical and disability. So make wise decisions before you show up on the job, because the ramifications can be financially devastating. And in most cases, there's simply nothing that a lawyer can do to help a client who was impaired at the time of their injury. Another defense is horseplay. If you're fooling around on the job and not engaged in the course and scope of your employment, you're just not covered, even though you're injured on the job. Now, injuries can be singular, like a fall or lifting incident, or they could be repetitive, such as carpal tunnel syndrome, hearing loss, or exposure to asbestos or hazardous chemicals. Those are called repetitive traumas or occupational diseases. In order to have a compensable repetitive trauma or occupational disease, The work activity must be significantly repetitive and or impactful in order to be deemed a cause of your injury. So what should you do if you're injured in a work accident and you want to ensure that you protect your legal rights to maximize the value of your claim? First, report your injury to a supervisor as soon as possible. Don't violate the 45-day rule. Second, seek immediate medical attention and give a very good history that your injury happened on the job. Third, call GWC so that you can put one of Illinois' largest workers' compensation and personal injury law firms to work for you and your family immediately. I'm very proud of the fact that GWC is considered to be a preferred law firm for many of the trade unions and building trade organizations throughout Illinois. We work hard for our clients and we're very well respected by the defense bar, insurance industries, and the judiciary. So if you or a loved one has been injured, contact our offices for a free legal consultation with one of our experienced trial lawyers. Take a look at our website and our other YouTube videos as well. And remember, at GWC, we never get paid unless and until you get paid. So call right now. Click the link below. GWC. Justice starts today.